Something terrible is about to happen at Fraser's Ridge, and by the time the truth is revealed, nothing will ever be the same again. The calm you think you see is only the calm before a storm that will break lives, test loyalties, and change everything for the Fraser family. What happens next is not just a problem. It is a tragedy that will leave deep scars. Asterisk at Fraser's Ridge, life begins in a quiet and almost peaceful way. The land stretches wide, the air feels calm, and for a short moment, it seems like everything is finally under control. But peace in this world never lasts long. Behind every smile, there is a hidden fear, and behind every decision, there is a risk waiting to strike. Claire Fraser moves through her days with a strong but worried heart. She has seen too much pain in her life to believe that calm means safety. Even when things look normal, her mind keeps warning her that something is not right. She pays close attention to the smallest details because she knows that danger often starts quietly. A strange look, a small injury, or an unusual silence can mean something much bigger is coming. Jamie Fraser also feels the pressure building around him. As the protector of Fraser's Ridge, he carries the weight of every life in his care. He tries to stay strong, to be the leader everyone needs, but deep inside, he knows that not everything is under his control. There are threats he can fight, but there are also forces he cannot stop. This knowledge creates a constant tension in his heart. He stands ready, always watching, always prepared, but never truly at ease. The people of Fraser's Ridge continue their daily work, unaware of how fragile their safety truly is. They trust in their routines, in the land, and in the strength of the Fraser family. But trust can be dangerous when the world is unstable. One small mistake, one wrong move, or one hidden enemy can break everything apart in an instant. As the days move forward, small signs begin to appear. A sense of unease grows slowly, like a shadow stretching across the land. Conversations become quieter, glances become more serious, and even the air feels heavier. It is the kind of feeling that cannot be ignored yet cannot be fully explained. Brianna Fraser also begins to notice that something is wrong. She senses the change in the atmosphere, even if she cannot clearly define it. Her instincts tell her that the peace they are living in is temporary. She feels a growing tension inside her, as if something is waiting just out of sight, ready to strike at the worst possible moment. Asterisk, the peace at Fraser's Ridge does not last long. Small signs begin to appear, and at first, they seem harmless. A broken tool, a delayed message, or a stranger passing too close to the land. But these small details begin to form a pattern, and patterns always lead to something bigger. Nothing feels stable anymore, even if people try to act like everything is normal. Jamie Fraser starts to notice these changes more than anyone else. His eyes stay sharp, always watching the edges of the land. He understands that danger does not always come with loud noise or clear signs. Sometimes it comes quietly, hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to strike. This makes him more alert, more serious, and more protective than ever before. He begins to question who he can trust and what risks he might be overlooking. At the same time, Claire Fraser feels her own concerns growing stronger. She senses that something is not right, not just in the land, but in the people around them. Her instincts tell her that someone, somewhere, may already be planning something dangerous. She watches the people carefully, looking for any small change in behavior. A nervous glance, a sudden silence, or a strange reaction can reveal more than words ever could. The daily life at Fraser's Ridge continues, but it feels different now. Conversations are shorter, smiles are less natural, and people seem more distracted. It is as if everyone is carrying a hidden worry, even if they do not speak about it. This quiet tension builds slowly, pressing down on everyone like a heavy weight. The land itself seems to reflect this change, as if nature is warning them in its own silent way. Brianna Fraser begins to feel the pressure, too. She notices the way people react to small things, and how quickly calm moments can turn into uneasy silence. She starts to question what is really happening around her. Her thoughts begin to drift toward worst-case possibilities. Not because she wants to worry, but because her instincts are telling her to be prepared. Meanwhile, small events begin to connect in ways that no one fully understands yet. A missing item, a strange visitor, a sudden change in plans. Each one on its own seems unimportant, but together they begin to form something dangerous. It is the kind of buildup that cannot be ignored. Even if people try to convince themselves that everything is fine, the quiet at Fraser's Ridge begins to crack in small, almost invisible ways. At first, it feels like nothing more than a moment of discomfort, a pause in the usual flow of life. But then those moments start to grow, stretching longer, heavier, and harder to ignore. Something is building something that cannot stay hidden for much longer. Jamie Fraser senses it before anyone else. His instincts sharpen as he moves across the land, noticing changes that others might overlook. The wind feels different, the people seem uneasy, and even the animals behave as if they can feel what is coming. He begins to prepare quietly, not wanting to create panic, but knowing that preparation may soon become necessary. Every decision he makes now carries more weight than before. At the same time, Claire Fraser continues to watch closely, her mind constantly searching for answers. She starts connecting small clues that once seemed unrelated. A strange delay, a missing detail, a conversation that felt just a little too off. Slowly, a picture begins to form in her mind, and it is not a comforting one. The more she thinks, the more she realizes that they may already be closer to danger than anyone wants to believe. The tension rises when an unexpected event disrupts the fragile calm. It may begin with something small, a sudden argument, an unplanned visitor, or a moment that quickly spirals out of control. But what starts as a simple disturbance soon grows into something far more serious. Voices rise, emotions clash, and the balance that once held Fraser's Ridge together begins to break. Brianna Fraser feels the shift deeply. She can sense that this is no longer just a warning, but the beginning of something real and dangerous. Her heart races as she tries to understand what is happening, but answers come too slowly. Fear begins to spread, not loudly, but quietly, moving from one person to another like a hidden fire. As the situation escalates, control starts to slip away. What once felt manageable now feels unpredictable. Every action could lead to a new consequence, and every decision could change everything. The air becomes thick with uncertainty, and time seems too slow as people realize that something important is about to happen. This is the moment when the silence finally breaks. The warning signs are no longer distant. They are here, and they are real. And once the first real blow hits, nothing at Fraser's Ridge will ever be the same again. The danger that has been building finally explodes into something impossible to ignore. What begins as a sudden disturbance quickly turns into full chaos, and there is no time left to prepare. The calm that once protected Fraser's Ridge is gone in an instant, replaced by fear, confusion, and shock. People run, voices rise, and the sense of safety completely disappears. Jamie Fraser reacts immediately, stepping into action with the strength and courage he is known for. His focus sharpens as he tries to take control of the situation, but even he can see that this is bigger than anything he expected. The threat is no longer hidden. It is direct, and it is dangerous. Every second matters, and every choice could mean the difference between life and loss. He pushes forward, trying to protect everyone around him, even as the situation grows more unstable at the same time. Claire Fraser finds herself at the center of the chaos in her own way. Her instincts and training push her to help, to heal, and to save as many lives as possible. But this moment is different. The pressure is overwhelming, and the situation forces her to face fear in a way she has not experienced in a long time. Still, she refuses to give in. She keeps moving, focused on one thing only: survival and saving others. Brianna Fraser is pulled into the storm as well, witnessing events that shake her deeply. The danger is no longer something she can avoid or question. It is right in front of her, real and undeniable. Her emotions collide with reality as she tries to understand what is happening, but there is no time to process everything. She must act even as fear builds inside her. The chaos spreads quickly, affecting everyone on Fraser's Ridge. What once was a peaceful home becomes a place of panic and urgency. People lose their sense of direction, unsure of where to go or who to trust. The situation grows more intense with every passing moment. As if everything is falling apart all at once, in the middle of this destruction, one truth becomes clear. This is not just a random event. This is a turning point. Lives are being changed in ways that cannot be undone. The impact of what is happening will echo far beyond this moment, leaving behind damage that cannot easily be repaired. This is the tragedy that Fraser's Ridge will never forget. And as the dust begins to settle, the full weight of what has happened starts to sink in, leaving behind silence, loss, and a future that now looks very different from what anyone once imagined. When the chaos finally slows, what remains is not relief, but silence. A heavy, painful silence that feels louder than the disaster itself. The air at Fraser's Ridge is different now. It feels empty, broken, as if something important has been taken away and can never be returned. People move slowly, their faces filled with shock, unable to fully understand what has just happened. Claire Fraser stands in the middle of the aftermath, trying to hold herself together while helping others do the same. She has seen loss before, but this time it feels different, deeper, more personal. Her mind is focused on healing, but her heart is carrying the weight of everything that has been lost. Every injury she treats reminds her of how fragile life can be and how quickly everything can change in just a moment. Jamie Fraser walks through the land with a heavy heart. The one responsible for protecting Fraser's Ridge, he feels the weight of this tragedy more than anyone. There is a quiet pain in his eyes as he looks at what has been Ed. He tries to stay strong for others. But deep inside, he carries a burden that is difficult to put into words. He begins to question every choice he made, wondering if something could have been done to prevent this moment. The people of Fraser's Ridge are left shaken. Some are grieving, some are silent, and some are simply trying to process what they have seen. Fear still lingers in their minds, even though the danger has passed. Trust feels fragile now, and the sense of safety they once had is no longer there. Every conversation carries a hint of sadness. Every glance carries unspoken emotion. Brianna Fraser struggles with the emotional impact of everything she witnessed. The events have left a deep mark on her, something that cannot be ignored or easily forgotten. She tries to stay strong, but the weight of the experience presses heavily on her heart. Questions begin to form in her mind. Questions about safety, about the future, and about what comes next after something like this. This is the aftermath of tragedy. Not loud, not chaotic, but quiet and in a way that feels even more powerful. The pain settles slowly, spreading through the land and the people who live there. And even as life begins to move forward again, one truth remains clear. Nothing will ever be the same after this moment. Now that the worst has passed, a new kind of danger begins to rise. It is not loud like before, does not create panic or chaos. Instead, it hides in the quiet details, in the unanswered questions, and in the small clues that were easy to miss during the tragedy. Something about what happened does not fully make sense, and that is where the real tension begins. Jamie Fraser starts to look deeper into the events. His mind replays every moment, every decision, searching for anything that feels out of place. As a man who has faced many dangers, he understands that nothing should be taken at face value. There is always a reason behind every action, and sometimes that reason is hidden beneath the surface. The more he thinks, the more he feels that this tragedy may not be as simple as it first seemed. At the same time, Claire Fraser begins to notice details that others might ignore. Small signs, strange. Reactions or patterns that seem too perfect to be random. Her sharp mind starts putting pieces together, forming a theory that could explain what really happened. But with every answer she finds, more questions begin to appear. It is a dangerous balance between understanding and uncertainty. Brianna Fraser also finds herself thinking differently now. The experience has changed the way she sees the world. She begins to question not just what happened, but why it happened. Was it preventable? Was it part of something larger? These questions stay with her, pushing her to search for meaning in the chaos they have just survived. As the investigation continues, subtle hints begin to surface. A misplaced detail, a hidden connection, or a moment that now looks suspicious in hindsight. These clues do not give a clear answer, but they suggest that something deeper may be at play. It raises the possibility that this tragedy might not be the end of the story, but only the beginning of something far more complex. The tension slowly returns, but this time it feels different. It is quieter, more focused, and more dangerous in a hidden way. There is a sense that whatever caused the tragedy may still be out there, waiting, watching, or planning the next move. And until the truth is fully uncovered, no one at Fraser's Ridge can truly feel safe again. After everything that has happened, one thing becomes clear. Fraser's Ridge will never return to the way it once was. The land still stands. The people are still there. But something deep inside has changed forever. What was lost cannot be fully replaced, and what remains carries the memory of the tragedy in every corner. Jamie Fraser stands as a leader who has been tested in the hardest way possible. The weight of what happened sits heavily on him, but instead of breaking him, it reshapes him. He understands now that survival is not just about strength, but about carrying forward even after loss. His focus shifts to protecting what remains and rebuilding what has been broken, no matter how long it takes. Claire Fraser continues to do what she has always done, helping others heal. But this time, the healing is not just physical. The emotional. Wounds run deep, and they will take time to fade. She becomes a source of strength for those around her, even while carrying her own silent pain. Her belief in moving forward becomes a guiding light for the people who look to her for hope. Brianna Fraser also begins to change. The events have left their mark on her, but they have also given her a new perspective. She sees the world more clearly now, understanding both its beauty and its danger. Her journey is no longer just about survival, but about finding meaning in everything that has happened and using that strength to move forward. The future remains uncertain. There are still questions that need answers, still truths waiting to be uncovered. And with every answer found, new challenges may arise. But one thing is certain. The Fraser family will not face it alone. They have survived something that could have destroyed them, and that survival gives them a strength that cannot be taken away. As the story moves forward, the path ahead is unclear, but it is not empty. It is filled with hope, resilience, and the will to keep going no matter what. And even after everything they have endured, one truth remains. The story is not over. It is only beginning a new chapter.